Every year, year after year, I do an updated version of Lord of the Rings Online guides, including one of my favorites, which is Lord of the Rings Online worth playing in whatever year it is? And right now, it's time for the 2025 edition. I have recently swung back around once again to play Lord of the Rings Online, this time joining my brother, who I've played lotro with many times over the years, but joining us is his wife, who has never played before, and his two kids. His son, who I believe is like 11 years old, my nephew is like 11, has played a couple of times with us in the past, but on a very small scale, like doing harvesting and stuff. And his daughter, my niece, who is I believe 7 years old, is playing for the very first time. And we have been playing on Sunday nights. I've been recording those episodes and putting those out there as family Lotro night and having a lot of fun. And I do want to sort of talk a little bit about Lord of the Rings Online because I get a lot of people asking, hey, is it still worth playing in 2025? It's been out for 18, 19 years now. Creeping up. I think 2007 will be 20 years. 2027? My bad. 2027 will be 20 years. And while Amazon does have another Lord of the Rings based like multiplayer MMO game in the works, it's still many, many years out. So Lord of the Rings Online is the de facto default Lotro, or Lord of the Rings game that you go to if you want an online multiplayer experience. But you can also play it single player, which is how I've played it for years and years and years. So let me go ahead and get logged in to one of my characters. I'll go ahead and log into Arendelle because this is the character I have been playing with the family recently. So I'm primed and ready to have this character run around. We're in the Shire right now because we'll be taking the kids through the Shire. Over the years, I've done a ton of stuff in Lord of the Rings Online. We've done the Lotro cooking in real life show where my wife and I cooked recipes from the game and shared those with people and all the photos and everything on Patreon. I've done the Lotro tourism guide where we literally took and followed the hobbits and followed in the footsteps of the Fellowship of the Ring all the way from the Shire to the Misty Mountains to Rivendell over the course of multiple episodes. We have done a ton of lore guides, a lot of different playthroughs. I've played a lot of different characters in this game. And every year, when I come back to Lord of the Rings Online, there are a few things that stand out. One, of course, is the music. The second is the writing. And the third is the fact that this is an extremely, I would argue, passionate, immersive game that represents everything that Middle Earth is about, which is the journey, not the destination. It's a funny thing to me because despite the fact that I have played this game for 18 years since it launched, I do not have a max level character. Across two accounts, I have got probably 30 characters, and I think my highest level character is my lore master on what used to be the Laurelin server, and I think is now the Meriadoc server. Um, that character, I believe, is 105 or 107. That's my highest level character. He's literally in Osgiliath looking for Faramir. And the reason I don't have a high level character or a max level character is because every time I come play this game, whether it's with my brother or with friends or with new community members, I'm always inspired to go on a new adventure. And I think that is the spirit of Bilbo Baggins. It's the spirit of what Tolkien wrote in the first Hobbit novel was we're going on an adventure. And that is what this game has always encapsulated for me, which is a grand adventure. So, even though the game is an online game, it is an MMO. We are here in the Shire. We're actually up at, I believe we're at Bag End, looks like. Um, Even though this is an online MMO, you can play it as a single player game. I've been playing it single player for years. You can join up with friends if you want to, and there are things towards like the end game that are relegated to groups and group-based activities, and you can do like all of the instances and dungeons. You can do those with your friends if you want to, but the world is big. And if I could open up this map just for a minute and kind of show you how big this is Eriador, which is where the game originally started 18 years ago. And Eriador is broken up into multiple zones. We have Ered Luin, We have the Shire, which this is the Shire map. This is the Arid Luin map. We have the Yonder Shire, which was added a couple few years back. We have areas like Evendom. We have Forakel. We have Breeland. Oops, I went too far out. We have Breeland. We have the North Downs. We have Angmar. We have the Lone Lands. We have Cardalon. I gotta stop doing that. Um, we have the Troll Shaws. We have Rivendell itself. We have the Misty Mountains. We could go on and on and on and on and on. The map is really, really, really big. This just represents Eriador, but we can go out even further and realize, well, there's also Rohan, Gondor, Mordor. We've got more stuff up in Rovanion. This represents 18 years of Standing Stones games putting content into Lord of the Rings Online. And even though, yes, it does look dated, without a shadow of a doubt, the character models look like they are 18, 15 some years old. The engine that they're using is, a 20-year-old engine. The game definitely looks its age. But despite the fact that it looks its age, it still looks pretty good for its age. And they have done an admirable job, especially if you go into the later parts of the game. Like, as an example, Rohan looks completely different than the Shire because by the point they got to Rohan and Gondor and Mordor, their world building tools had gotten much, much better. And so those zones look more modern than these old zones do because these are zones from, the original. If we were to go over to the Yonder Shire looks completely different. I don't think I'm quite close enough to hop over there really quick. The point I'm getting at, though, is that the game is extremely immersive. And if you're looking for a place to call home and a place where you can have an adventure, this is the best representation of Middle Earth that is currently out there and will be for many years to come, if Standing Stones Games has anything to say about it. Obviously, this is considered a legacy game at this point, being as old as it is, but there are countless hundreds, I would argue thousands of hours of entertainment to be had if you love Lord of the Rings. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Now, it is older, so there's no controller support. There is limited voiceovers, but if you love dialogue, there is lots and lots and lots of dialogue to read through. And if you go read the quests, you'll find huge, just like essentially there are novels worth length dialogue, especially when it relates to like the main quest that you'll follow, which is the epic journey. These quests are extremely well written. They're very Tolkien-esque in the way their dialogue comes across. And of course, not only are you meeting cool characters like Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas and Gandalf and Frodo and Sam and all the rest of the Fellowship, you're also going to go off and do things like um, after Mirkwood, but before Isengard, you're off in the forest working with the Dunedain for dozens of quests, killing orcs and earning this cool armor of the Grey Company. And there are just so many moments in this game, like being in the Troll Saws and having that quest where you think that you're tracking down the White Hart, only to find out that you're actually tracking down Gollum and interacting with him and chasing him down, and he runs up off the cliff and turns around and hisses at you. And like, there's so many really cool. I still think the coolest thing I've seen in the whole game, like in terms of nostalgia stuff, is stuff like, well, there's seeing the three stone trolls, obviously from the books. But the first time I went to the Misty Mountains and I got deep into the Goblin City, and you're down in those tunnels and you come across these cave drawings of a creature, and suddenly you realize, oh my god, these are cave drawings of Gollum. And then you get deeper and deeper and deeper into the caves, and you keep seeing more cave drawings because the goblins are literally scared of this creature that lives in the depths, and they've drawn these cave drawings of this. Don't go that way, it's scary. And then you get down there and you finally go into Gollum's cave, and it's it's such a cool moment. If you so if you're someone who loves the books or the films or the Rings of Power TV show, I don't care where you came from in terms of your Lord of the Rings initial introduction. It doesn't matter. All roads lead to Middle Earth. And for me, that's the beauty of this game. Um, I think that, especially when you look at the type of game that it is, it's very simplistic in terms of its gameplay. By modern standards, tab-based targeting or mouse clicking, you have just a range of abilities that you use, whether it's by button click or mouse click. There's a trait system where you can, pick different traits. There's a party-based system, so you can play a warrior or a healer or a mage class or a rogue class, dual wield. There's all these different classes that you can play, so all that's there, but for me, none of that has ever mattered that much because it's always just been a really cool place to run around and celebrate Middle Earth. And to me, when people ask me, is Lord of the Rings Online worth playing in 2020, whatever, in this case we're in 2025, I'm always going to answer yes, with the caveat that, it is an older game. You're not going to be able to play with a controller. There are, it's an aged thing, but like a good wine, aged sometimes adds something special to the flavor. And I think that if you love Middle Earth and you want a chance to sink your teeth into a really massive, massive, massive game that has done an excellent job in my mind of representing the totality of Middle Earth, this is it. The base game, obviously, I think they ended in the Mordor journey was like, I don't even know when that was. That was a while ago. And since then, they've been adding stuff from the appendices and just continuing to flesh things out with like the River Hobbit starting area, and beyond. So take a look. I think it's worth your time. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. And I'll see everybody in the next one.